Hey guys, I'm Nikki Dinky. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm sharing with you one of my very favorite sauces. It's my roasted garlic cream sauce. If you love roasted garlic, the flavor is awesome and this sauce really highlights it. If you're not that familiar with roasted garlic, it takes the garlic and really transforms it. Believe me, I love my garlic. But roasted garlic is sweeter, it's milder, it's a really special flavor, and this sauce is a really good one. And you guys can put it over pasta, you can put it on pizzas, you can put it over chicken. It's really versatile and it's really delicious. So stick with me, we're gonna make my roasted garlic cream sauce. So of course, we need to roast our garlic. I have about 7 heads of garlic here. Now yes, I am a garlic fiend, but when you roast it, it turns much more mild and much more sweet, and you really need the flavor in this sauce. And we're making a slightly heavy cream sauce, so we don't want to lose the flavor of this really delicious roasted garlic. So I've got about 7 here. If they were a little smaller, I think these are pretty small, I would go up to 9. If they were huge, I guess you could go as low as 5. So anywhere from 5 to 9, depending on size. But remember, you can't really have too much. The flavor is pretty mild, and there are going to be a lot of things competing with it. So if you're not sure, just go get an extra head. Now what we're going to do to roast this is we're just going to chop off this bottom quarter, and then we're going to put that bottom quarter facing up, so cut side up. What we want to do is make sure that we've exposed every little clove in here, so we've cut off the little top of each clove. Then we're going to cover it with a little olive oil, a little salt and pepper, put it in some tin foil and tent it all nicely so it kind of steams in there. And we're going to cook it for about an hour on 375. You want to make sure it's a really nice, rich, medium to dark brown, and that it's super tender. All I'm smelling is roasted garlic, and that makes me very happy. I might just cook roasted garlic in general, just to have the smell in the air all the time because it smells so good. Well, it's not quite done yet, so while I'm gonna let that cook a little bit longer, I'm gonna start on the base of our sauce. What I'm doing is I'm making a roux. A roux is just equal parts butter to flour, and it thickens whatever you put in it. I'm gonna be using 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. This also equals a 1/4 cup. And then I'm going to be adding to it, once it's melted, a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. So once your butter gets in there and you add your flour, and you want to let that cook for just a minute, just to kind of get some of that flour taste out of there, but you don't want it to brown or anything. Then we're going to add our milk, thicken it up, add some of the roasted garlic, maybe put some cheese in there. Good stuff. Now that this has been cooking for a minute, we can add in our milk and start to really thicken up everything. I'm gonna add in 2 cups of milk. You can add in up to 3, but I like to start with 2, so that way I can get more of an idea of how thick it's gonna be. And if it's a little too thick, I add in a little bit more. But if I add in 3 cups and it's a little too thin, then it's kind of hard to go back. So put in 2 cups of whole milk. We're really going for it. You could use a lighter milk, but for this, it's a cream sauce. I kind of like to have a nice full fat milk. So 2 cups of whole milk, get it in there, and once it comes up to a simmer, you're gonna see it really start to thicken up. Looking delicious. And you can see that some of the cloves are kind of popping out of the head. That's when you know it's done. And that, when you also see that some of them are pretty dark brown, some are light to medium brown, these are all really good things. And of course you want it to feel nice and squishy. Now that they've cooled just slightly, I'm just gonna turn them upside down and squeeze them into our sauce. Now that I've got all my garlic in there, I really want to make sure that I infuse that garlic flavor or that roasted garlic flavor into my sauce. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my immersion blender, which is just a blender that you can actually put in things. You don't have to transfer it. And I'm going to puree this until it's nice and smooth. If you don't have one of these, you can put it into your blender or even your food processor. But you really want to make sure to somehow puree it so we really get garlic throughout the sauce. Honestly, just like that is really, really good. But you know me, I gotta take it one step further, and of course I have to add some cheese. Right now it's got this beautiful flavor, but to me it kind of feels a little one note. So I'm gonna add in some nice sharp cheeses to kind of give it some other good notes. I am gonna add in a cup of Gruyère cheese. It's really nice and melty, but it's still got some nuttiness to it. I think it's gonna really complement that roasted garlic. And then I'm also gonna add in a nice half cup of just regular Parmesan or Romano cheese. That has a little bit more of a bite, and I don't want too much of it, but I want just a little in that background. It's gonna be a really good sauce. The Parmesan and the Gruyère are just the perfect complement to this. It just gives it this little bit of nuttiness, this extra layer of flavor. It's just so good. So I haven't added any salt to this. Pretty much, you know, there is salt that we added onto the roasted garlic before we roasted it. There's a ton of salt in those two cheeses. So I just tasted it and I don't really think it needs any. But you want to taste it and make sure, you know, you might need just a little bit. But definitely wait until the end because you might be surprised at how salty it is just from the natural ingredients that you've used. Now for me, this is a tiny bit thick. Kind of depends on what you're using it for. If I was gonna like spoon this over chicken, then I might want it this thick. If I was gonna spread it on a pizza, depending on how thinly I spread it, I might want it this thick or maybe a little bit thinner. I think I'm gonna put it over pasta tonight. So I'm gonna put an extra half cup of milk in here just to thin it out a little bit so that it really coats all my pasta really nicely. But however you use it, you are going to love it. There you have it, guys. My roasted garlic cream sauce. It's just so good. I mean, oh, you guys are gonna love this. It's so silky, and that roasted garlic is just incredible. I love this sauce. I really hope you love it, and I really hope you have fun in the kitchen. So try this recipe, let me know how it turns out, and I will see you guys next time.